So obviously, I'm a big fan of him. I don't think I need to keep going on that. He is
Back there, Aaron Rodgers. He didn't mention the name Dave. Talking a lot about toe tap and doing the little things, being assignment sure, knowing where other players are supposed to be, being a playmaker when plays are needed to be, being a guy that he can trust, being a guy he can depend on, a guy that he doesn't need to worry about doing the little small things because he just seems to do them on his own. And yet, he still doesn't say his name. I don't know. Maybe he's got to be talking about Equinemius St. Brown, don't you think? That's who he's talking about. Or
I
maybe
mean, he could be,
maybe
but
it's,
he's not. What about the great Adams? No,
okay, then
it's not Adams.
no.
Ooh.
It's gotta be Trevor Davis because we've heard so much about Trevor Davis, Dave. That's who
As
it
much
is,
as
isn't
we've
it?
heard such good things, we can't. It's not him. It's Kumaro. Old JC has
Kumaro.
impressed Rodgers so much. This is the third time he's come out and mentioned this guy personally before or after practice. Like, he's gone out of his way to literally, like, basically Aaron Rodgers is saying, I want him on that 53. This is a guy that I can rely on. This is a guy that reads my mind as well as I read his. We know what makes each other tick. Let's do it. Like, to me, there needs to be no other sign that this guy needs to be on the 53. I think he's locked in now.
Is he the new Jordy Nelson?
He might be, man. He runs his routes, Chris.
Because
he's very sleek the way he runs his routes.
I'm not talking about big plays, and
Oh, no.
it goes into a point that Mr. Mark Tauscher on Wilde and Tausch this morning when I was listening made. He believes that Jake Kumaro will be the second leading catch getter on the team. Not necessarily touchdowns, not yards, but he thinks he will have the second most receptions because he's dependable and he believes he's going to be a guy that comes up big on the field for third down conversions because that's that Wes Welker, that Jordy Nelson. Those are when Rodgers and Nelson really connected on that level with the third downs that had to be converted in the critical points of the game.
Well, not even the third down, Jay. The play breakdown. Like, it could be on first or fourth. If the play breaks down, like, to me, Rodgers has three guys he can rely on. Adams, he's already connected with Allison. And the third, if you have a third now with Kumaro, it's just it makes it so there's no safety net across the field. It's just the fact that you have wide receivers that are clicking on the same page with each other and the quarterback. That's huge. We didn't have that last year, obviously, besides Adams, and Allison got hurt. So this year, I think it's going to show more than ever, especially where we're in an offense with splashy, big chunk plays that are going to be coming up.
Well, yeah, and they're also splitting out Aaron Jones a lot right now.
I've been reading
the
that.
Beginning of minicamp. It's all
he
over
did that
the place.
At UTEP.
Which splitting out Aaron Jones and changing up the offense brings me to this little nugget I found on Twitterverse today, Dave. And it made me laugh right away because it fits this guy's personality so beautifully. So we have Bakhtiari talking about, he was asked a question about how he felt about the new offense and being out in space, pulling, and having to run block. And Bakhtiari says, I love it. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly, man.
That's an Others Guy reference.
I thought that
movie
was great.
Is funny as hell. And Bakhtiari, you know
Yes!
what, brother? You are a peacock. You are beautiful, and you have to fly. You, sir, you're just a man and a peacock in the same thing. I saw you chug a beer in about 0.01 seconds, and you're beautiful at the same time. You are like God's gift to Earth.
That dude is one interesting offensive lineman if I have not seen one in a long time. He has got so much personality for a unit that is just not that's just usually not their MO, and yet he's a hell of a player. Like, you got to think, this guy does not get respect. Okay, he was just voted, I think, the 14th or 15th best overall player in NFL Network's new top 100 players list that just came out a couple days ago. Did you see that, Dave? The little
Yep,
leaks that are coming out.
definitely
They
saw
haven't
that.
released the list yet, but there's been some leaks. This is a left tackle, guys, and yet he's only been to no Pro Bowl. He's been
Nada.
voted All Pro twice. No, twice. 2 All Pros, no Pro Bowl. So what is that telling you about the Pro Bowl people? Like, it doesn't matter anymore.
It's a popularity
the title
contest.
doesn't even matter anymore.
Didn't Peyton Manning
Yeah,
make it when he
it's
broke his neck
ridiculous.
and he had surgery on it?
I think so. We'd
I
have,
really
I'd have to
think
go
he
back
did.
and
I have
double
to go
check
back
that,
and
which
look,
I'm not
yeah.
going to do right now. But
I mean, but still, just
yeah,
the fact
I
that
mean, it is, and
it's silly. Like, I don't need Pro Bowls to tell me. If you're reading a resume and you tell me All Pro, I'm fully down for it, because All Pro means he's done something. And I think he's been overshadowed by, since the Cowboys always get more media, I think Tyrone Smith got a bunch of news. I know he's a solid tackle, but I'm sorry. Bakhtiari can run block. He can pass block. Tyrone Smith lacks in pass block. I've seen that dude get toasted a couple of years straight now in a couple of games where I just saw speed rushers completely dip their shoulder and they were getting the Dak.
The entire line gets toasted pass blocking. When the Packers played them in that 2014 Dez catch no catch game,
Yep.
the week before, the defense of the Packers unit was given the how to penetrate that offensive line even when they run block. All you had to do was run twists and stunts with every one of your defensive, front seven. And when you did that, those guys couldn't all pick it up quick enough to get to their spots and figure out who they were blocking. And there was just alleys to the quarterback and running back over and over again. And guess who showed the way? Remember that was the year that the Detroit Lions went down there the week before in the wild card round and got basically robbed of that game, the Lions, because of the bad 4th down call. Yeah. So, I mean, even when they were highly respected, if you really watched them, all they were really good at was road grading. When it came to critical downs, when you had to pass the ball and the other team knew it, it was simple things that high school kids can pick up. Like, I understand these are better athletes. Don't like overstate me there, but it's something that you would think of guys at that level with that much clout that had been put on them about how great they were as a unit. Something that simple would be so easy to confuse them. I mean, stunts and twists aren't that hard to pick up if your linemen are all on the same page. You know what I mean?
Actually, leading to another. Oh, I do, because actually it was something else that the NASCAR package I was going to bring up was the fact that it's getting brought back with the 4 outside linebackers, and we have 2 guys that can run twists and stunts on that outside linebacker core with Rashawn Gary and Zadarius Smith. And man, oh man, I don't want to be any offensive line in front of that thing. And I think they're going to unleash it week 1 against the Bears O-line. And they're moving their second-year guard to the center, James Daniels. I think if you put someone like Zadarius Smith in there, it's going to eat up, or Rashawn Gary, eat up interior linemen on one-on-one blocks, on twists and stunts. Oof, man. I think it's going to be nasty.
Well, that brings me. That's another beautiful transition. You're just on fire today. Like, I'm kind of off my game, and then you're like 3 levels up from normal today. Like, just blowing me out. Beautiful, Dave. I've got. If you could see me in studio, that you'd see the tear running down my ear for how beautiful you've done with these transitions. Because this brings me to another point that Mark Tauscher also brought up, and I'm going to rob from him, about the offensive and defensive installs and how the different units should be, because we're hearing all this praise about the defense, and people are like, oh my God, it's Aaron Rodgers, and they're trying to use it now. as a panic mode that this
Well,
offense, isn't doing well. And oh my
people
God,
were complaining for a decade we didn't have
go ahead.
defense. Now they're complaining that amazes me. That some people are complaining, oh yeah, it's the offense, it's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he's learning a whole new offensive system with a couple second-year wide receivers, and now they're complaining about it? Like, they complained for defense for over a decade. Now we finally got a second-year defensive scheme and system and the talent to do it, and now they're bitching about that. Come on, guys. You can't have your cake and eat it too. We got our defense, and I'm sorry, if I have a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and I know our defense is outshining our offense in OTAs, minicamp, and training camp, I will take that all day long, because that means the offense with Aaron Rodgers, it can catch up to the defense. I will take a defense that is able to help out Aaron Rodgers in the offense rather than trying to play catch up like they have over a decade ago.
And that's what Tausch's point was, is if you're in OTAs in the beginning of minicamp and your offense in its first year is torching the defense, he said, like, I'd be throwing my arms up right now because that's a red flag. Like, oh my God.
Bingo.
He said, any defense right now that it's worth its weight in water should be way ahead of an offense that's installing new things. He said, because, prime example, he said, let's just take Darnell Savage, for example. If he becomes the eraser that they think he is, there can be three guys on defense do the wrong thing, and Darnell Savage can make up for all that crap in one swell swoop, and you don't know anything that went wrong. You take that, and one or two guys, not even three, make them same mistakes on offense, the entire play is blown up, and God knows what awful thing could happen. Like, offense is much more intricate, takes much more time, and has to be perfected like all 11 players. So, yeah, at this point, people, if you're like bitching about the offense, you kind of got your head in the sand about the concept of where things should be right now. And that's kind of like what we were going to say. Like, that was,
Well, with the new offensive scheme, with how intricate.
Right.
I mean, with the intricacy of what you just mentioned, it brought a certain drill to mind I was reading about and watching the OTAs being mentioned by like Wes Hotchkiss and all that, or Hokowitz. I can never pronounce his name last. I'm sorry, Rob Demosky, all you guys. Whenever you guys put news out and all the tweets of like the pictures and descriptions. And the thing is, I was a drill. I've noticed that LaFleur has the QBs, including Rodgers, have the QBs going ahead, and they take two quick snaps, like directly in the same snap. So they'll take one, dump it out in the flat, and then the other one, they hit a slant or a post. So, like, it keeps their reactions on a swivel, and it basically ingrains those routes quicker in the quarterback. I love that. The fact that they're pushing this already this hard early in this off season, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, it goes back to the point you made earlier. We have been waiting since the year we won the Super Bowl, came back and watched our defense be absolutely terrible.
Jesus.
And it's been like bad. I mean, the best we've really had, honestly, since that Super Bowl year where they finished, I think, 4th overall or 5th overall defensively across the league. Our best year has really been last year when we finished 15th overall with a plethora of injuries and really nobody left in the front seven. So it's been damn near a decade. And again, look, I love scoring. I love, chicks dig the long ball. I love the long ball, the big play. I love all that. But at the end of the day, you know what I like? Because I'm a physical sports person, I still like watching a good running back control the ball. I still like watching defensive players knock the snot out of the other team when the game is on the line in critical moments. Those little things still make the goosebumps thing, on my skin come up and the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Those are the things that get my motor going. As much as I love all the other stuff, when I see all that other stuff I was just describing, that's what really gets the juices flowing for me.
So I'm going to transition straight into two different things here. One, side note, at running backs, have you seen Aaron Jones? This guy has put on some muscle, folks. He has dropped his body fat percentage from 11.3